Oasis came along like a hurricane.
I think we might sell 20 million. We might only sell 10 million, but who's counting?
Liam's the king of the lads. I'm not king of the lads, no. No. I'm the king of kings.
All our people right here, right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's what makes Oasis.
Gallagher arrived at Heathrow tonight amid speculation with the club abandoning Oasis American tour. About the future.
Avec plus de 20 millions d'albums vendus, des salles de concert remplies autour de la planète, le groupe anglais Oasis est sans doute l'événement rock majeur de notre fin de siècle. Leur extraordinaire pouvoir vient des bas-fonds de Manchester, ville dont les 5 membres originaux sont issus. Liam et Noel, chanteurs et guitaristes-compositeurs, sont 2 des 3 fils d'immigrants irlandais, Peggy et Thomas Gallagher.
There are always people coming around here for Oasis.
From my dad, I don't think I inherited anything, actually. Maybe... Well, my dad was a DJ, so probably musical instinct off my dad. It's probably the fucking only thing he ever done for our family, anyway. Off my mum, probably honesty and hard work. All the good things, really, off my mum. All the bad things off my dad.
What have you inherited in the values and character?
Looks, personality, good art. And a fucking wobbly nose.
Nothing from your dad?
Nothing from my dad, no. Except for the bad ass. Dad had a bad ass. I've got a bit of bad ass, but nothing from that cunt, no.
Peggy met him at this Irish social club that they used to go to. He was very quiet and he didn't drink. They get married and suddenly he's out every night, he's drinking, and suddenly this whole side erupts, which she had never seen before. Liam was watching this, watching his father hitting his 2 brothers badly, you know, and the mum as well. The effect on Noel was to totally take him into himself, to completely withdraw and to think, well, you know, if I can't trust my father, who can I trust?
Didn't really enjoy school that much. Didn't enjoy growing up, really. I didn't really enjoy anything up until I was about maybe 18, something like that. Keeping this lane. This next right, not this one. This lane. We used to live down there. We used to live down there. That's where nothing. This is where we spent our total childhood around here. This is where he's just knocking about round here. You just get your side, you just go down the back there and drop a load of acid down the back there. I got caught shoplifting in that co-op back there, man. That's when I first got caught. All the magic mushrooms down there, laugh your head off down there. There's a record shop there. Hollywood Park, where we used to play football as kids. That's where the fair used to be. It's this where we met Griggs and Bonehead and the other geezer. Yeah, this is where we just come off. Yeah. When you meet people from outside Manchester who come in for the weekend or come in for a week, they go, oh, it's all right up in Manchester. It's but once, if like you lived there for 25 years of your life, well, it's quite boring. There's not much happening. I miss not being near my mum. That's what I miss. Straight up here, on the right up here, is McVitie's where Mum used to work. Big biscuit factory. We used to knock about in the park. She'd work here, we'd meet from the park, say about 11 at night. Walk her home. And walk her home with a load of biscuits. big boxes of Jaffa cakes. It was sort of penguins and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dans les années 80, Manchester avait été la Mecque du rock anglais, particulièrement à cause des Smiths, dont le guitariste Johnny Marr fut l'un des premiers supporters d'Oasis. Après la dissolution des Smiths, un autre groupe de Manchester deviendra numéro 1 dans le cœur des jeunes Anglais. Ce groupe s'appelle les Stone Roses et il aura une influence énorme sur Liam et Noel Gallagher.
We never had any jobs, we were all unemployed and shit like that. I just remember spending hours and hours sat in my bedroom at home just playing guitar, really, sort of quite isolated and cut off from everyone else.
Noel was never a teenager, he's always been 30-odd.
Who were your heroes when you were a kid in Manchester?
Paul Weller, Johnny Marr, John Lydon, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, Mick Jagger, Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Keith Moon, Pete Townsend, Steve Jones, Chuck Berry, Elvis.
Me and Liam would be together when I was about 14 or so, playing football and whatever, and then Noel got a flat, moved out of his mum's house, and then he went off for the Inspiral Conference. I didn't see him for a few years.
Towards the end of the 1980s, we needed a new singer, and Noel presented himself and said, I'd like to audition to be a singer, can I have a go at it? And we said, yeah, no problem. And he did it, he did an audition. And we all liked him, but we didn't think his voice suited what we were looking for, although he did sing well. So we took him on board as a roadie and general cosmic advisor. I mean, we'd take him in business meetings, we'd take him, you know, we'd be negotiating a publishing deal or anything, and we'd take Noel along, you know, he was like very much treated as a member of the band. Noel always made it very obvious that one day he wanted to front his own band, or at least to lead his own band, you know, he just, he was always writing songs.
I owned an amplifier, a bass guitar, a drum machine, and an electric guitar, and a microphone. And I had no money.
Rain wasn't like a proper band or nothing. It was only lasted about a month. You know what I mean? It was just me and Bonehead and this other guy who you didn't really like.
We had this thing going, me and Griggs and Tony and this singer. And the singer wasn't very good, so it's like, we sacked him and someone just said, you know, word of mouth, we know a guy called Liam Gallagher.
And the other three was in that band called Ryan.
And the other three, and then you joined and it became Oasis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Do you think the band would have been a success without Noel?
No. Well, who knows? It's like, would Jesus Christ been a fucking pervert if he had a crisp packet on his head? No one knows, did he? So no one knows. It may be that I'd still be in a band if it weren't for Noel. I'll still be doing my stuff. Maybe it's good or not. Who knows? Because I never, you know, when Noel joined, we'd let him get on with it. So it's like Noel's songs. But who's to say, like, fucking 2 years ago, if I'd have still carried on writing music or whatever, I could have got better, I could have got worse. I could have been a horse jockey in France. Rain, oh, they were rubbish. Terrible, absolutely dreadful. And then they changed their name to Oasis. And then I went to see him again, and they were just as bad, but they had a different singer this time, which was our kid. And he asked us to join the group, so I didn't have fuck all better to do, so I said, yeah, I would.
Well, in a small union bar, students' union bar at Manchester University. A lot of people are saying when I first saw Oasis, I saw the new Beatles, they blew me away. Got to be honest, I'm never like that with any band I see. I didn't rush backstage and you know, go down on my knees or anything, but I spoke to Noel a couple of days later. He came down to London and we sorted things out.
There was a large undertow of feeling that there was something great about to happen in British music. There had been bands like Suede that had paved the way. Younger people were getting into on a pop star kind of level. And then this band came out virtually out of nowhere.
Definitely Maybe sort le 30 août 1994 et devient immédiatement le premier album le plus populaire de tous les temps en Angleterre.
Look at the best rock and roll singer in the world that's ever been, ever. Look at one of the greatest songwriters the world's ever known. Add all that up into one package and put it with the right record company, you're going to get success.
Alan McGee actually rang me up, which he never does, and said, do you remember the last time I called you? I called you in 1980-something or other and told you that I have this band called the Jesus and Mary Chain and they're going to be the greatest band in the world. He said, I'm calling you again. This is the second...
There had been other bands like the Happy Mondays or the Jesus and Mary Chain, people who had kind of that, you know, a cool edge, who made interesting music, who were very singular, but they didn't really have that extra, you know, that bloodlust that would just make them want to be the best.
I'd love to be out there now, paying me money in tonight to come and see a band like us, because we're great.
It was time for England to come up with something as poignant as Nirvana. I think we were on one of our first tours when the news came through that Kurt Cobain had killed himself, and Liam dedicated Live Forever, you know, that night at the gig.
Maybe I just wanna fly, wanna live but don't wanna die. Maybe I just wanna breathe, maybe I just don't believe.
1995 est l'année des premiers triomphes, mais une rumeur persistante prétend que le groupe a un grave problème de drogue.
When they first went out on tour, and suddenly it was like, what, we're staying in a hotel room and you're paying for it? And do you know what I mean? And suddenly all these girls are turning up, and suddenly there's drug dealers going, oh, yeah, I had this for nothing. You know, they were like, well, hey, you know, it's like every kid's dream come true.
It happens to everybody when you're in your 20s that, you know, we all take too much, you know, cocaine, crack, amphetamines, ecstasy, blah, 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 whatever. And then you crash. Some crash harder than others, but, you know, and at some point, Oasis will crash. But, you know, they haven't yet.
Sans remonter jusqu'aux Everly Brothers, aux Beach Boys ou aux Kings, le rock a toujours connu le problème des frères ennemis. Mais les affrontements entre Liam et Noel vont devenir d'autant plus légendaires que certains se déroulent sur scène.
It's always been the same, but I mean, I think the more recognition we've got as a band and as people, and the more we've got in the public eye, then the more they've blown up them stories. I mean, I can tell them about some good fights they had 5 years ago.
With the things that you have never ever seen. Since the days you're never breathing out before you breathe it in. So how does it feel when you're in?
It's just brothers, isn't it? And not many fights, you know what I mean? Just have arguments and sometimes have a few fights, but it's not all the time. Fairy tales. Not fairy tales at all. He's had it. He thought he could have me one night. Got a bit lippy in a club. He woke up the next morning with a big like red mark above his head.
It wasn't all punching. It was, you know what I mean. It was shouting and pointing and all that sort of thing. But then if a member of the press is there.
Vente d'un certain John Lennon.
You know, people who've had an out-of-body experience. Well, Liam had one at a very early age, and that's when he thinks. The spirit of Lennon when he's...
The one who writes the songs, no, he's okay, but, you know, they don't have that much depth. The other bloke, he's just a pain. I don't think they need him. The one who writes the songs, he can sing them just as well. You know, maybe it's because it's his brother, he's got to keep him in the band.
George Harrison doesn't know Liam, so he's never met him, but it's as if he didn't know Liam, and you read about him in the papers, then I suppose you wouldn't like him. But unless you get to know him, you shouldn't be making statements like that, really. But we all love you, George. We think you're top.
Dans les années 70, on parlait de punk, et dans les années 80, de yuppie. Aujourd'hui, les voyous sont le public rock anglais.
A lad is of the male sex, and he goes to football matches, drinks lager, and likes taking drugs and swearing a lot.
I think with something like laddishness is it's always going to be there because ultimately it's a celebration of ignorance.
I suppose it's an attitude more than anything. It's just people who've got football matches, really, and they go drinking with their mates.
Mrs. Thatcher took away all your opportunities, so it forced a lot of people to follow their passions. And I even see a lot of that in Oasis. You can get that, there's a hard, bitten edge to the music, you know, you could call it ambition or you could call it loutishness.
The dangerous thing was just being that busy. You sort of wake up one morning, you don't know where you are. You sort of forget what country you're in. and what you're supposed to be doing there. Then you just think, God, I've been doing this now for so long. I can't remember when I started, and I don't know when I'm going to stop.
Noel phoned me up and said, "Do you want to be in my band?" And I said, "OK, let's meet up." And we went to a rehearsal room in London, just me and Noel, met Gwigsy, all played, you know, some new tunes, which were, at that time, going to be Don't Look Back in Anger, Roll With It, all those sort of tunes for What's the Story. And then just happened from there, didn't it?
Yeah. What did you bring that Tony McCarroll didn't have?
Timekeeping.
A couple of years back, they had the Earls Court show lined up, and their bass player had gone AWOL.
I wasn't well, basically. I couldn't get up out of my bed in the morning, and so therefore I couldn't go on tour. That was starting in 3 days' time. So they got somebody else in, which is right, quite correct, because I didn't know if I'd ever be well again.
Through McGee, they said, but I'd be interested in doing it, which I did fancy doing it, but they decided in the end they wanted somebody who would just stand still all the way through.
And this one's called Roll With It.
Le 14 août 1995, l'Angleterre s'offre le délice d'une bataille des groupes. EMI et Sony Music s'affrontent en sortant le même jour les nouveaux singles de leurs poulains Blur et Oasis. Il ne peut y avoir qu'un seul numéro 1.
Blur at that point were bigger than Oasis when we went into that battle.
This battle of the bands war on between them and Blur. And I thought they won hands down because sort of Blur were this studied, dare I say, art school trying to be working class, whereas Oasis were the real thing.
La polémique atteint son paroxysme quand Noel, dans une interview, décrète qu'il aimerait voir le chanteur et le bassiste de Blur mourir du sida.
My fault. She didn't ask any loaded questions or anything like that, but she did keep on going on about Damon. But, I just said that I hated him, and she said, "How much do you hate him?" And I said, what I said.
That didn't bother me that much because, you know, I like them, and what anyone says about me is not going to have a big effect, really. I mean, that's just a sort of, I mean, you know, you learn about that sort of thing when you're at school. People saying, "Oh, it's pretty childish."
It's good for Oasis because, you know, we became a household name, and then when we released our album, it was a better album than Blur, and Blur got, you know, pushed into the side.
Glory was a great album because it achieved everything that a great pop music album should do. It just sold tons and meant things to people.
Baby, you gotta be the one that saves me. And after all,
You're my Wonderwall.
Wonderwall became some sort of enormous bonding song for a generation of people who'd been brought up on E and raves and dance music and felt alienated by all around them, and all they ever wanted to be was in a room with loads of other people feeling the same way that they did. And Wonderwall glued them together, and it became something that they could hug each other to, and it became an anthem in every pub and club and disco and school playground and old people's home in the land.
I'm just a singer.
I'm just a fucking singer.
I write the songs for this band, I always have done, and I always will do.
I'm quite happy to sit on stage and play old songs. Right. You know what I mean? But there are songs.
For Bonehead, Gwigsy and Alan White, for them, they're in a team with Maradona and Pele.
If you let Liam write a song, then Bonehead's got to write some songs, then Griggs has got to write some songs, then Alan's got to write some songs, and then it's just this. It's not Oasis anymore. You know, it's not. Oasis is my songs, and it's as simple as that.
You're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my Wonderwall.
Oasis generally copy basically Beatles, Stones, 60-ish sort of thing. You know, I don't think that they're anywhere near either of them. And I don't listen to them, I just hear them on the radio, you know. I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy that crap, you know. I wish them luck. I have nothing against them, but it's...
As walkouts go, this was one of the best. After a triumphant summer playing to hundreds of thousands of British fans, mega band Oasis were off to delight the Americans until lead singer and national heartthrob Liam Gallagher decided to get off his Chicago-bound plane to sort out moving house.
Some people here are saying you've got an arrogant attitude.
I have, that's what makes Oasis, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not... How's it going with your brother?
He claimed that he didn't have anywhere to live, so he went off to find somewhere to live, which was complete and utter rubbish. I come first.
You come before your fans do. You
yeah, of course I fucking do. That's me, yeah.
You have a concert.
I come first. Fans. I don't care. I forgot about it. I didn't know. No one sorted me out, so I come first before any fucker.
He only missed one gig. Or was it one gig? He only missed one gig of the American tour. And then we did a bunch of them, maybe 6 or 7 gigs, and then Noel decided that, well, we all decided that we wanted to go home.
Noel Gallagher arrived at Heathrow tonight amid speculation that abruptly abandoning Oasis American tour 2/3 through was a prelude to break up. He wouldn't answer questions about the future.
I didn't particularly want to be in a band anymore. It wasn't because of Liam or anything like that. I just didn't really want to be part of a band, travelling around the world, playing the same old songs to the same old people every night.
I never thought it was the end of the band. You know, I was worried because of the implications and the commitments we had there and then. A lot of people read a lot into what goes on with the band in America. On 2 occasions, you know, things haven't got completed. That could have happened anyway. It just happened to be in America. In both occasions, they occurred because of tour fatigue.
They don't buy enough records of ours, so they don't buy enough concert tickets. I don't know, it's just too big, it's too long. I mean, we usually get on each other's nerves by about 3 weeks anyway.
Everyone expects us to go to America.
I've been caught out shagging a fucking alien up the arse, yeah, I suppose it'll get worse. I think they've already got as worse as it can get. You know what I mean? Liam Gallagher was caught last night, what, bending an alien across the snooker table and poking his bottom. You know what I mean? It can get, you know, what more can you say about me?
Oasis now are the only big band that actually makes a difference to circulations, really, on most music papers and probably on tabloids too. I don't really honestly think if you put the Rolling Stones or even Paul McCartney anywhere near the cover of a daily newspaper that anybody would care, but if you put something about Liam Gallagher there, they probably do.
You can't be in a big famous rock band and not have that, you know. It'd be quite bizarre if you're in a big band and there was no journalist following you back. It'd be quite funny, actually.
You don't have control over the tabloid frenzy, and I think if it was going to affect the guys, they would have been swallowed up by it by now. You know, there's certain other, you know, pop bands like the Spice Girls. They provide stuff, you know, and fair enough. That's their choice and their prerogative. As far as we're concerned, it's a complete irrelevance to us.
From the very beginning, they were saying things like, yeah, we take drugs, yeah, we shag, yeah, we smash up hotel rooms, yeah, we do all these things, like we're working class, we're yobs, whatever, but we love music, blah, blah, blah. So everything that they did when Liam got busted for cocaine, all the other scenarios that went on, there was no, people would just go, so what? And the tabloids didn't really understand this, and were picking up on it, trying to make out that these people were disgusting. Whereas at the same time, we had a Tory government in decline, whereupon the kind of so-called pillars of the establishment were sleazy, they were lying, they were cheating. The whole country was rotten to the core. And there's these two brothers completely out of their heads who appeared to be the only two honest people in the whole country. And the country responded to it in the most remarkable way.
He takes drugs, bad boy, fucking hell, he has fights, bad boy. He's in that rock and roll band, bad boy, fucking ass, you know. I've dealt that all in the bag, them lot press, all the tabloids in the press, in my back pocket. Got them sorted, no problem.
The way he's portrayed by the media is completely false, right? He's one of the most sensitive, intelligent, sharp individuals and warm individuals that I've ever met. You know, he's incredibly bright. And the way he's portrayed in the British tabloids is as if he's a football hooligan.
It's, is that Liam?
Yeah.
Hello, Liam. It's Jeremy Vine from Newsnight here. How you doing?
I'm sound. How are you?
Not bad. Are you coming out?
It's raining, mate.
Why aren't you going to Chicago? Hello, Liam.
Made a meal and threw it up on Sunday. I've got a lot of things to learn. Said I would not believe in one day before my heart starts to burn. So what's the matter with you? Sing me something new. Don't you know the cold and wind and rain don't know, they only seem to come and go away. Stand by me, and nobody knows the way it's gonna be. Stand by me, and nobody knows the way it's gonna be.
We started off in Abbey Road. It's like, oh, we'll record this album in Abbey Road, just for the vibe and to be in Abbey Road in Studio 2 and get that feel.
It's all right because when you look out of the window into the room, you think, well, you know, the Beatles recorded Day in the Life here and stuff like that, but it's not really conducive to a rock band playing there because we played that loud that people were in other studios were asking us to turn the volume down, so it's pretty shit, really.
So what's the matter with you? Sing me something new. Don't you know the cold and wind and rain don't know, they only seem to come and go away.
We're in there like amps on 10 making a racket, and next door you've got like Sir fucking Fred Godfrey's, whatever it is, and he's got to do his violin concerto and he needs quiet. So we got a knock on the door one day and we're like getting into this album. Doors knocking, lights are flashing, it's like, who the fuck's this? You open the door, it's like, could you turn the noise down? You know, Sir John's doing his violin solo there, so we were like, oh, fucking, get the flight cases, we're getting out of here.
Bishop on the way back at the sun.
Pendant l'enregistrement du troisième album, 4 des 5 Oasis se sont mariés.
Marriage, has it mellowed you?
Mellowed me, yeah, it's great. What do you think? It's not mellowed me, no. It's just made me feel important, you know, a bit more important than I already am. Because someone wants to spend the rest of their life with me, it's nice.
When one person gets married, then their wife talks to your girlfriend, and then she says, well, if she's getting married, then I want to get married, then so you have to get married, and then the other one has to get married, and before you know it, you're all fucking married, you know. It's all a con.
No, we're still the same. We just got rings on our fingers. I mean, just something to... It's you know,
growing up, isn't it?
Growing up, you grow up, don't you? In this business, you need something to go back to, don't you?
I got married a few years ago and got all the kids, done all that bit. When everyone else was having it large at 5 in the morning, I was like, I can't, you know, I've got to go to bed. Got to get up at 8, baby's getting up, you know what I mean?
Dans des déclarations fracassantes, Noel Gallagher invite tous les Anglais à voter pour les travaillistes de Tony Blair. Seuls les Beatles avaient produit cet effet sur les Anglais en aidant Harold Wilson à être élu dans les années 60.
You know, if Keith Richards went to see Tony Blair, you'd be like, what, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? But with Noel going there, it's like, oh yeah, there's something kind of right.
Noel's a staunch Labour Party supporter, and but the fact is that he was openly, supportive of Labour, meant that the Tory party never got in after 18 years.
There's no way I got Tony Blair elected. The people of England elected him. I mean, I voted for him just because I'm working class, and so did. It was good to see the working class getting mobilised and off their asses and getting down to the voting booths and actually voting the Tories out. But I don't think it had anything to do with me.
With Blair becoming Prime Minister and the getting rid of the Conservatives and the music that's being made at the moment, and it's all kind of, there's a very kind of British, a lot more people getting into the idea of, well, actually, we are a good people, we are creative, we can do this, you know.
I think Britain is great now. I think we've got great fashion, as you can see. We've got great filmmakers. We've got great football again. Chelsea are phenomenal, although the team's made up of mostly Italians. We've got, the music's great. We've got, well, when you say it's great, we've got big bands. Prodigy are massive, Spice Girls are massive, Radiohead are massive, Oasis are massive.
La sortie de Be Here Now, le 21 août 1997, est un événement national. Les fans attendent l'arrivée du troisième album d'Oasis en campant devant tous les magasins du Royaume-Uni.
Didn't set out consciously to write a long record or a batch of long songs or anything like that. That's just the way it came out, really.
Le nouveau disque d'Oasis, j'ai écouté une fois. Oasis, c'est une chose plus mélodique. C'est pas vraiment pour danser de Oasis. Mais j'ai une salle ici à côté. Je mets l'Oasis, je peux pas vraiment. C'est difficile à danser, vraiment.
I think they've blown it a little bit with what I've heard of this new album. I think they've sort of sunk into a formula and they're in danger of going the status quo route.
NME were beginning to get a lot of letters, an awful lot of letters from kids who bought the album who were writing and saying, I wish I hadn't bought it, it's no good, don't like them anymore, boring, too Beatles-esque, too self-referential. Looking for the next big thing.
Oasis sell 4 million records in this country. The Melody Maker sells 50,000, the NME sells 90,000. We're bigger than these publications. We're bigger than the press, to be honest,
people right here, right now, all that sort of stuff, know what I mean. Well, actually, no, but it sounds good, you know. You're my Wonderwall, are you? Oh, OK, that sounds all right. Oh, Wonderwall, you know, you can see it. So I think he's got the knack, I'd say, of writing great popular songs. But there isn't a Strawberry Fields or you know, anything like that there. There isn't that voice of a generation.
Mais alors que la vidéo de Do You Know What I Mean passe en rotation maximale sur toutes les chaînes du monde, on peut se demander si Liam Gallagher n'est pas la prochaine victime annoncée de l'histoire du rock.
It's already a casualty. Yeah. No, I don't fear for him at all, no. He can look after himself. I think. I hope.
If I was in issues, then I'd have to shut the door and say, I can't cope with this shit. What's it all about? And he just deals with it. And it takes something special to do that.
And he hasn't rubbed the edges off, which is what's good about him.
I still believe, despite the fact that everybody says that Noel's the band's genius, that without Liam, it's boring.
Do we look as if we can deal with it? Of course we can fucking deal with it. I deal with anything. Not a problem. Easy peasy. It's not a contest anymore for us. I mean, we don't think we've got nothing to prove to other bands. You know what I mean? We were set out and we wanted to be, you know, become the biggest or the best band in the world, and we achieved that.
Right now, right here, it's me and Oasis having it.
I can't see anybody achieving the success that we've had. I can't see that happening again. I think what we've done over the last 2 years is just a one-off phenomenon. I mean, I don't even think we'll match what's gone on over the last 2 years.
Being able to play in a band in itself is a special thing, really, just to be able to go and pick up your thing and join in with your friends. And the fact that, despite everything and everyone trying to split us up, and all these things getting in the way, and papers and press and pressure from different things, we're still here, we're still going on.
I think we'll be the Beatles and the Stones. I don't particularly see myself doing this when I'm 50 years of age, but I don't see it ending in 5 years either, so I don't know.
No, we're never going to break up. We just call it a day. When we call it, we never split up. We just shake hands and say, that was nice. I'm sure you fucking owe me a royalty check on that, I'm sure. And that's it, we'll just go down the pub then and say, that was great, you know, and get on to the next thing.